Hello everyone, and welcome to the Smoke Sesh. Today's topic is an important one, as they should be, but basically it got me thinking when I received this pipe as a gift. And in this case, it's a Barack, New York City UFO shaped pipe. So the topic of today is going to be about UFOs. Post in the comment below, like, what you think about it. If you actually think that there is life out there, even if it's just in our universe or multiverse type of theory, or like, let me know what you think. But I just wanted to comment here. First off, christen this pipe. I've never smoked it, so got some Prince Albert here loading up a quickie bowl. But yeah, basically ever since I was a kid, I've thought that we weren't alone in the universe and that there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye. But early on, that was even before I saw anything. And when I was in college, I think it was towards the end of my college days. I think it was around 2011 or so. But I used to go to UW-Waukesha, and I'm going to tell you a story here. Let me just get into this. So, I used to smoke cigarettes, and everybody would go out on this bridge that was pretty much right in front of the library, and just a meeting spot. But the point is, I've always been a person that keeps an eye up, and I've seen some interesting stuff. A lot of interesting night sightings and things. But this was in the middle of the day. It was like around noon. I can't remember if it was like 11 something, but it was around noon. And supposed to be in class, but smoking a cigarette with some friends out there. And 3 other friends near me. But this place, this UW-Waukesha, is right near an airport, near Waukesha Airport. So it's not uncommon to see planes and stuff flying overhead. On this day, though, what caught my eye wasn't the plane that was flying. It was what trailed right behind it. And so much so, I even got the attention of my 3 friends that were next to me. I was like, hey, look at that. Well, look at that. And this is, again, the middle of the day. And this was a extended sighting, not a, 10 seconds and it's gone. This took a good, I'd say it was a good 30 or 20 something, 30 seconds. It was a good while. It streamed along for a little while and then it disappeared. But what it was, unlike this UFO pipe here, I believe also that there's many different retro-engineered, from crashes and other things, that there's potentially these things. And there's also new technology, and in a way with gravity cancellation type of devices, or not necessarily cancellations, it pretty much moves. I don't know how all this stuff works. There's some good patents out there by Salvatore Pais, and there's a lot of talk about gravity defying stuff, but I'm not going to get into the technicals of it. The point is, what I saw flying behind the smaller jet was a perfectly round silver sphere. No markings on it, nothing. It basically trailed behind this plane, and it was about around maybe a fourth of the actual length of this little jet, and about 1.5 times as thick. But it trailed this plane for whatever reason for a little while, came up behind it, flew right kind of beside it, but a little down lower to its right side, but it followed it for a while. And then it started then speeding up, and then it pretty much went like across. Well, it was flying under the plane, but went across and then up and to the left super fast. Like, it just went from, well, I mean, it wasn't zero, but it went super fast, to the point that it wasn't necessarily a blur. You could still follow it, but it went so fast that it actually cut a hole in the cloud, and I could see the blue behind it, but a perfect little silver sphere. And very interesting thing. Personally, I don't think that that's one of ours. I do believe that there is technology, some things that, you know, military stuff that they don't talk about and that would to the untrained eye seem like this. But I don't think that that's ours. And I have a cousin in Brazil, and they got married, her and her husband, but they had seen a sphere, except in their case it was a blue sphere that was moving around through the buildings in Belo Horizonte, but going through like by the basketball court and just moving around slowly. But in their case, the light was coming from inside the object. And that, you know, I can't attest to theirs, but they're very adamant about it. But I can attest to what I did see in the middle of the day and what my friend saw. So, from smoking, you know, smoking isn't probably always the best thing. If you do it in moderation, there's not that much of an issue. But I'm still happy that I saw what I saw. Because if I wasn't smoking a cigarette and looking up that day, I wouldn't have seen something that most people go their entire lives without seeing. And unfortunately, too many people just look down, or, you know, they focus on what's in front of them. They don't focus on what the bigger picture is. Maybe that's part of the reason why they don't see things. So, my point is, keep your eyes up. You never know what you might see. Let me know in the comments below what you think regarding extraterrestrial life. What you think about retro-engineered crafts, or like what you think something like this might be. Do you believe? Have you seen something? Just, you know, let me know down below. It's one of those things. Other people out there too, you know, sometimes they'll see something and they just don't want to talk about it because they think they'll be made fun of or whatever. But there's some real stuff out there. And don't be afraid to speak your mind and tell exactly what you saw, because at least that way the facts can be put out, and then people that are maybe in the shadows and that don't want to talk about their experiences don't have to fear it. Same thing, I mean, there's other cases where this is true that I'm not going to get into, but it's like, so yes, just share if you happen to have an experience, and hopefully you enjoyed this video here. It wasn't as much of a detailed video as I normally would like to do for a smoke sesh. This was more of a first-hand experience, but hopefully you took something from it and found it interesting. I don't want to go too long on the video. Maybe another time I'll do something more in depth, but thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all very soon. Have a good week.